Ever since I was young, I really loved watching movies, right? But I specifically loved horror movies, and something I watched a lot as a child was Law and Order SVU. And like, yeah, I shouldn't have been watching that as a child. I think I started watching it when I was around 8 years old. But anyways, in a way, it was comforting, because it's showing me how other people survive their trauma. And that's why, people who go through a lot of things, that's why we consume a lot of true crime and we get obsessed with these things, right? Because it helps us make sense of our lives, and it also connects us with the other people, or it also makes us kind of not justify, but like it also makes us kind of in a way like put our trauma below the true crime in a way, like, oh well, my life isn't that bad, right? It's like a comfort thing, like if they survived that or if they didn't survive that, like I should be grateful for my life. But anyways, from the youngest age, I noticed how fear really consumes us in the serial, like in serial killer movies and stuff like that. What always brought them to their death was fear. The ones who survived were the ones who were able to conquer the fear, because fear makes us kind of dumb. It makes us into prey. And so from a young age, I would practice like not being afraid of people in certain ways. And this made me like, this kind of made me a protector to other people. I had this thing where like I necessarily wouldn't bring out my predator instinct for myself, because I just didn't feel the need to fight. Like I can't understand people's psychology and like where it's coming from. When I was younger, I was a lot more volatile, but like as I grew, like my biggest trigger would be harm being done to other people, other people being made into prey. And that was when I would get really, really, really a lot, I was thinking about this because the other day I was at the grocery store in my hometown, and I don't like to go there because like usually I'll see people from high school or something, and anyways, I was in the store and I was standing in line, and yeah, I was like busy and there was like lines and stuff like that. So I'm like standing in line and there's this man, and a person comes, like the cash register person comes and is like, oh, like whoever's next can come meet me at this line, right? And there's teenagers at the end of the line, and they start walking over there, and then the people behind me start walking over there. And this white man starts yelling at the teenagers and the people walking over there, and is like, that's not fair. I've been waiting 20 minutes. Like, you guys are cutting and blah, 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 blah. How dare you doing this? He's literally yelling in the middle of the grocery store. He's literally the next in line. The other person's checking out, and he's literally next. Like, the cash register is about to scan his items, and he's screaming at these kids, right? And in the past, I felt myself like being activated, but in the past I would have started conflict with him. Like I would have started conflict with him, and instead I just stared at him. Like I just like stared at him like this while I was in the other lane, and he looks directly at me, and I'm just staring at him like this, and he's like, do you have a problem? And I don't say anything. I just continue staring at him, and he's ranting and ranting and ranting, and I'm just staring at him. And I don't break eye contact, and I don't blink. And then he shuts up. And I'm shaking because I'm enraged, because you are so ridiculous. Like, I understand your nervous system is built. It was Tuesday. You're buying a 24-pack of beer. You have one item, and you're mad that these kids got in line before you. And the only thing I can think of is like how we live in an indigenous town, and the only people who live here are like mostly white people. Like the school, like everything, like it's really ridiculous, but like we live on like Indian burial or indigenous burial or whatever, it's like literally like the history of this town is literally that. And I wanted to like scream, like, you think that you're facing injustice because teenagers went into a line when you're being scanned next, right? But I try to not have like judgment because obviously there's something deeper going on with that man, like it doesn't like make his behavior okay, but like to be that dysregulated and to be feeling like you're so injusticed that teenagers checked out before you is really sad. Like that's a really sad life to live in, that you feel the need to scream out justice in a grocery store with a bunch of people and try to dysregulate a bunch of people, right? Nobody even responded to him and I was just staring at him and whatever. But like I was thinking about that because my hands started shaking. And whenever I confront somebody, I shake, but it's not like I'm scared. It's like I'm trying to restrain myself, like I'm trying to make sure that I stay calm and regulated, because who I am when my trauma side comes out is not who I'm trying to be. But I was reflecting on this and reflecting on fear and, like how the government controls us with fear. People control us with fear. Abusers control us with fear, right? And so I was thinking in my room and I was thinking about how I'm going through this eviction process. And I looked around my room and I said, if I was kicked out of this home tomorrow and I could only like grab a few items, right? Would I be okay? What is all this fear around the eviction and, it's instability, it's not having a home, it's how am I going to provide for my cats, how am I going to provide for myself? And then I think of how we survive so many different things. Like there's so many different things happening in the world and people are surviving. I'm not the first person to go through an eviction process with pets. I'm not the first person, like there's people who go through this process with children, with multiple children who have so much stress and so much fear. And like we condition ourselves, right? Because the government, they brainwash us. They make us think that we need all of these things. We have to have housing. We need to pay these bills. We need to pay these rents. Worst case scenario, I'm not able to get all of the rent payment, right? Because my goal is I want to be able, before the eviction goes through, I want to try to mediate with them and I want to try to be able to at least pay them the rent that I owe and at least be able to stay until my lease is up, right? But I said, worst case scenario, that doesn't happen. I get evicted, the sheriff comes, they do the thing, right? Say I don't have any money, I can't get my stuff to a storage unit, I lose what I can't take. Am I losing anything? Like truly, am I losing anything? No, I'm not. Worst case scenario, I can buy a van, me and the cats can live in the van until I figure things out, right? Everything like will work out. But I was just thinking like that, like fear really messes things up for us, and that's how they want to keep us. They want to keep us in fear, because when we're in fear we can't think. When we're in fear we're like a deer, we're like a baby deer, you know what I mean? But look at Bambi. And Bambi comes up sometimes, but like Bambi was such a scared little deer. He lost his mother really early, and then had all of this weight put on him to become a prince and to become strong and all of this stuff, and went through everything. I don't know why I randomly just started talking about Bambi, but yeah, so I just looked around the room and I said, if I lost everything, I would still have everything. I have my sisters, I have my family, I have my cats. I'm not losing my cats for shit. Like, no, sorry. Like, we'll figure it the fuck out. Even if we have to go live in the fucking river, like, get a tent, I'll teach my cats how to be outside cats. But, like, we're gonna be fucking fine. And, like, I have nothing to fear. Like, truly, I have nothing to fear. Like, I have not wanted to be a part of these systems and this matrix since I was a small child. Since I was 6 years old, I realized how much everything is wrong, and I've not wanted to be a part of this, and I've been half alive going through my life playing with these systems, not knowing how to get out of them, and now I'm out of them, and I manifested exactly what I've wanted since I was a child. And then right, the eviction goes on my record. What is my record? I won't be able to get a place that's easier. The right place will fall in for me. You know, like if you like go and rent from private owners, they're much more willing to work with you if you can explain your circumstances and if you have what you need to have. Like I went through the most excruciating couple years the last year, and I've been healing from my complex PTSD this last year, like a lot, the last couple years, but I didn't realize it really, but I've been healing through a lot. And I was not able to work, and now I don't feel the need to build into other people's pendulums, into other people's entities. You know what I mean? And so it's like, what am I actually scared of? I'm scared of a life I don't want crumbling down. There's no need to hold on to this. You know what I mean? And like, what is credit? What is this? It's all of these systems to keep you stuck and keep you trapped and keep you afraid. Why are we afraid of a bill? A bill is a paper with numbers on it, and we get terrified of it, and we dread when they come around, and we live in perpetual fear of bills and scarcity and all of these things, right? But it's like, it literally doesn't matter. They would write eviction on my record for everyone to see as like some shame, humiliation ritual that makes my life harder. But it's not going to make it harder. It's going to make it easier for me to fall into places that I am meant to be. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's a bill attached to my account. And I'm not saying that the people who own this apartment don't deserve to have the money and don't deserve, you know what I mean? Like I'm not upset or mad at them for not working with me on these things, because they're doing what they have to do in these systems. You know, it's just the way it is. And like, yeah, I'm a human, but at the end of the day, like, they are in these systems and they're not the ones trying to escape these systems, and I am. And so I'm not going to fight for an apartment I don't even want to live in a town I don't even want to be in. You know what I mean? And if anything, say I get evicted, say I lose all my things, the sheriff do the shutdown of the apartment, I can't get back in, I lose all my stuff, but I have my pets and I have my sister. And in a way, isn't that freedom? You know what I mean? Like, not saying that it's right that they'd have to deal with all of the stuff that's left here, but like, at the end of the day, you know, they put it in a storage unit and they auction it off to try to get some of their money back from the bills due. But like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so scared to go to the hospital to get treated because of a bill that's going to stay attached to our name. We're so scared of these things that aren't real and that don't matter and that don't exist. And we stop ourselves for no reason, you know? But I was just thinking about that. Like, there's nothing to fear. I've done my best, and I'm still trying to do my best. I'm still trying to earn money. I'm still trying to apply for grants. I'm still trying to seek housing assistance. I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that the apartment is paid and that I can leave in a way that feels good to me and feels good to them, you know? But at the end of the day, if it doesn't go that way, that doesn't go that way. And it's out of my control because I refuse to be a part of these systems. But at the end of the day, fear is what they want us to have. And they have all these things set up to keep us in that. And if we can, like, we need fear. It's a natural human instinct. But we need to really realize what is actually fearful. What is a threat? A piece of paper with numbers on it saying you owe a certain amount is not a threat. It is not a threat. There are politicians doing disgusting, heinous rituals and dark magic and black magic, and I'm going to be fearful for my life over a piece of paper with made-up numbers on it that they're saying I need to transfer into the air, these numbers to go into their account, to add more numbers to their account. You know what I mean? We should all have free housing. It is our human right to have free structure, and they have taken it away. They've taken away the land. They've taken away our rights. They've taken away our freedom. They've honestly accomplished like a great villain story, but it's all crumbling now. And we have a lot more control than they want us to know and think. The whole like Jim Carrey is a clone, the whole Epstein files that's been out for a long time already. Those are distractions. Those are to keep us mind fixated. A lot of you guys are consuming that now as entertainment and not as knowledge. Make yourself aware, but do not be entertained by these. Do not give in to the fear of what's happening in the world. That's what they want. That's how they consume us. That's how they take our power, is to fear, is for us to be fearful of all of these systems, for us to be fearful of courts, for us to be fearful of the leaders, for us to be fearful of the state of the world. Because if we are hopeless, if we are hopeless, if we are fearful, we are easily controlled. And that is the truth. We have so many people in America. If we all could join forces, if we all stopped paying our taxes, what are they going to do? Put billions of us in jail? If we all stop paying rent, what are they going to do? Evict all of us? It's time to take the land back. It's time to start actually changing these things. It's actually time to not have any singular people of power. People just have money should not have power. You know what I mean? Like, we really gotta dismantle these systems. But yeah, don't be scared. I love you guys so much. If you're going through housing insecurity, I really feel it. It's been something I've been moving through, and it's difficult. But yeah, we're gonna be fine, and everything's gonna work out how it's meant to. You just gotta really stay strong and steady. I love you guys. Mwah.